Lodwar, the headquarters of Turkana County. This expansive county covers 77,000 square kilometers. It is home to a population of about 1 million people. Traversing this region is not for the faint-hearted. The terrain is brutal. Only a few formidable vehicles are capable of tackling the rugged landscape. During the dry season, the weather is scorching. Here in Kibish sub-county in the Elemi Triangle that can be found in the far-flung corner of the country, essential services are hard to come by.
We want to work with a special kind of person called Emuron within the Turkana community.
Ikong Peter Petet is the Emuron here, a traditional leader. His area of jurisdiction is equivalent to a ward. He is powerful. His word is considered law.
He is the overseer. He is like what one would also refer to as a paramount chief.
This team from health organizations want to spread its family planning agenda. And for the green light, he has to be consulted. The Emuron's cabinet is composed of a council of elders. Under the shade of the tree of men, cabinet sessions are held. Serious issues touching on pasture, security, animal welfare, water and many more are discussed.
In terms of calamities, whether it is epidemics, whether it is rain overflow, and whether it is other diseases, he is also supposed, by his nature and networks, he is supposed to know and predict.
The white marks symbolize the prediction of an imminent epidemic the Emuron has made. The county government has been made aware and doesn't take this for granted.
As a county government, we are putting in place interventions geared towards distribution of nets and also indoor residual spraying, IRS, so that we can be able to cap issues of malaria. And Kibish is one of the areas which have been targeted, so that at least we can be able to distribute these nets, especially to the most vulnerable communities, pregnant women and children under 5 years.
In such a kraal, the Emuron has 2 or 3 members of his cabinet. He's constantly abreast of the happenings in these dwellings.
This is a site of a lady who died out of pregnancy complication. So the old man has actually brought us here to witness.
All the things that kill women in pregnancy, we know what they are. We know how to treat them. We know what can be done about them. We have the resources to do something about them.
Looking at the maternal mortality ratio in Turkana, we have 1,594 women dying with pregnancy-related conditions out of 100,000 live births.
The nearest health facility to this kraal is Kokuro, 15 kilometers away. On average, almost 30 kilometers separate one health facility from another. All are ill-equipped and understaffed. When labor pains strike a woman, reaching skilled personnel can only be a dream. It's seldom a reality. There are no ambulances. The Emurons wish there was one.
Yeye anataka pikipiki yenye na operate kama ambulance. Yenye itafanya yeye akimbie in these villages, unajua they are distance apart. Akiangalia wakisema ati mtoto hapa ni mgonjwa, anasema wekeni kwa pikipiki, pelekwe hospitali.
Richard Wanjala is a technician at a religious organization within the county. He's been crisscrossing the region, lending a hand in digging water ponds for livestock and human consumption.
Usalama iko chini sana. Mtu akishapigwa risasi, mostly ni mission inashughulikia.
Sometimes it's difficult to predict where nomadic pastoralists are and ensure they have access to vital services. It's hoped that the Emuron's influence will be tapped into.
If we convince him that it is nice to work with us for the good of his people, then he will encourage and decree his people to take the services for which we are operating under or the services which we are providing.
Akisema kitu, sisi tunaenda.
The Emuron will task his cabinet with the responsibility of relaying his decrees to the kraals. If not, then wherever his people are, including those migrating in search of pasture, still get these decrees.
We decided to use the concept of the Kimormor. Kimormor is a Turkana ward, which is in principle very similar to the Huduma centers you see all over the country. The difference in Kimormor is we bring the services to the people.
Afya Timiza project works in an FPRMNCH context, family planning, reproductive health, maternal, newborn, and adolescent, child and adolescent health concept. But of course, including issues like nutrition and wash, which are also water, sanitation and hygiene, which are also critical in service delivery.
Those who've never laid their hand on an identification card line up. Other services are birth registration, immunization, food distribution and animal vaccination.
Nimepata maneno ya kukata kipande na kupeana madawa na chakula ya watoto ile ndogo hii na uji wa mama.
Water scarcity bites. During dry spells, scoop holes on the beds of this river serves as the only source of water. The very low toilet coverage in the region renders these water supplies unhygienic. No household treats the water. There have been attempts to drill boreholes like this one. For 3 years, it has not been useful. It is condemned. The levels of salinity is just too high. Desalinating it hasn't been attainable. The Emuron is unsettled.
Alifungulia hii maji for like 2 days. Hapo kwa hiyo tank ndio wanyama wakunywa. Ile walikunywa 5 wakakufa.
Emuron usually bargains for the construction of resource facilities for his people before he can allow the penetration of a service. To him, this ensures continuity of service provision. Meanwhile, there's no source of safe water for the residents here. They keep scooping it out from this riverbed. The main food of the Turkana is meat. Access to markets is extremely limited. Malnutrition is widespread.
With a malnutrition percentage in children over 37%. That is the highest anywhere in the world.
The malnutrition is occasioned by drought and the absence of water. The few fresh water sources are only sufficient for scanty irrigation. In Kaikor, a self-help group has been growing vegetables to supplement their diet. As the inhabitants of Kibish, Loima and Turkana South wait, their hope is that the Kimormor will keep coming to them. Eunice Omollo, NTV.